your house, presented by Alliant Energy.
Alliant Energy, we're on for you.
Not so many years ago, a home security system consisted of a good lock on the door and a loud dog. These days, more and more homeowners are invested in home security systems to deter criminals, provide home protection, and deliver peace of mind. This is Jim Porball with A1 Alarm, and Jim's going to show us ways we can protect our homes and our families. And Jim, first let's start out, how does a homeowner figure out how much security they need?
Well, there's no magic formula for that, basically. It's just sometimes it has to do with what they can spend, basically. And first of all, they got to get the bid to find out whether they can afford it or not.
Sure.
So many people think that it's thousands of dollars, and it's not true. So they can spend just a few $100s on an existing house, maybe $600 or $700 for a basic system on an existing house, or as low as around $300 on a new home.
Now, we're here at this house, and I know it has a couple of things you wanted to point out.
We've mounted a wireless door transmitter on that door, and also there's a motion detector there that's wireless on this particular house, because the house was already finished when we needed to put this on, so we had no other choice.
So someone's looking at a security system and they say, well, I can't afford a big whole house system. Jim, what should they start with first?
Well, I would start with the doors, because 95% of your break-ins are through a door, and then do at least one motion detector, and that'd get you by on a very minimal budget.
Would that take care of windows as well?
Well, it does in a way, because you place the motion detector in such a way that no matter how someone enters the house, to get to one point to the other, they're going to get into that motion detector.
Okay.
And then you can add to it a little later on, when you can more afford it, to do some additional motion detectors in that. I myself personally, in my house, I have a couple, 3 motion detectors and the doors. I don't have any glass break sensors.
Now, you mentioned glass break sensors. You've got one here, and,
Yes.
and how does that work?
Well, it's an audio detection device. In other words, it looks for the frequency of breaking glass. When it gets that level, well, then this will trigger an alarm. The beauty of this is, too, in a way, is that, say that you have that fear and you want to have this system on, but you want to be able to move around in the house. Of course, you can't do that with a motion detector on. So you need something like this that you can have on, plus the doors, and still allow you to move around the house to do what you want to do the day.
Let's talk about other safety detectors in terms of smoke detectors.
Well, smoke detectors, we have those and that's a good life safety feature, basically. And if you have the system monitored, then you would get a 10 to 20% break off your insurance.
Okay.
Also, there's no 9-volt batteries within them.
Now, that's interesting, because no 9-volt batteries. I think about always getting up on the chair to change that battery, but yours doesn't have that. Your system doesn't have that.
No, it has a main battery and a main alarm panel that does the same thing. If you have a power outage, that main big battery covers all the smoke detectors and all your devices in the alarm system.
Now, one of the things that you were also telling me in terms of a smoke detector, that you need to consider the life of these.
That's right. On the ionization smoke detector, which the majority of the people have in their homes, is a 10-year life. And so there's lots and lots of smoke detectors out there that's beyond their life that people just don't realize. And what happens is they become insensitive. In other words, when you would have a fire and need the sensitivity to that to react better, it wouldn't be there.
Jim, I think that's some great information. I'm sure there's a lot of our viewers out there that probably have 20, 25-year-old smoke detectors that need to be changed.
That's right.
And that's great. And again, that can get you the discount on your homeowner's insurance. Sure. What about the question of being hardwired versus the battery on your smoke detectors? One better than the other?
Well, prefer always to have the hardwired. That's the best, because then you never have any batteries to replace within the smoke detectors. Sometimes in an existing house, we have to go with batteries in the smoke detector. But they last about 5 years. They're lithium, and also the smoke detector just flips off like this and bring it down, put the battery in, and just put it back in here, and it just clicks right in.
Let's talk also about the carbon monoxide detector.
Well, that's another thing, basically, and that's been a tough one to get people to put in. And it's they just don't realize just how many people die from CO. And that there's just a tremendous amount of people in that.
Well, Jim, some great advice and information in terms of smoke detectors, CO detectors, and just personal safety around the house. Thank you very much.
Thank you.